I got some breaking news here for you, Mark. I'll get to the Hollywood strike in a second, but John Sherman, chairman, owner for the Royals, has just put out a letter about the future of the team. It was released 2 minutes ago, Mark. You seeing this? Go to the Royals Twitter page. You'll see it there.
Going right now.
All right, you go over there. I did not finish reading the letter by the time we got back on the air. It just literally dropped 60 seconds ago. So I'm going to share it with you here on the air. This just came down, an open letter from Royals chairman and CEO John Sherman. To our dedicated Royals fans and the Kansas City community, last Monday night I pulled into the K for our game against the Tigers. As I watched fans excitedly picking up their Bo Jackson bobbleheads, a man came over to me in the parking lot. "I'd like to introduce you to someone," he said. "This is Nancy Hauser, Dick's widow." Many of you remember our Royals manager, who died at age 51 just 1 year after leading the team to their first World Series championship in 1985. All right, John, cut to the chase here, my man. He writes, "Some 38 years later, I had unexpected privilege of greeting his wife, who has remained in Kansas City almost 4 decades later as she returned to the K for a game." He says, "I was struck by the moment. My very first World Series game was the historic Game 6 in 1985, managed by her husband, Dick. Standing there in the parking lot, the history, the legacy, and the passion that connects generations of those of us who love the Royals all seem to collide." Can we get to the meat here, John?
There's 2 pages of this. Come on.
I got a 2-page letter here, John. Come on, I got to be off the air by 10 o'clock. Okay. John writes here, "It's that same passion that also makes us eager to know what lies ahead and to know what the future holds for the storied franchise. I know we're not at all where we want to be on the field. I'm here every night, and I feel that pain alongside our team, our fans, and our community. And I get that this is not going to feel better until it gets better. But rest assured," writes John Sherman in this letter that just dropped 2 minutes ago, owner of the Royals, "we're intensely committed to restoring the Royals to their rightful place in Major League Baseball, and will do what's necessary to see that through. We're just getting started here." He goes on to write, "We're a region with generational moments ahead of us, a region that is actively building its future. The Royals are..." I'm trying to read this letter here on my phone since it just dropped. "The Royals are gratified to share that journey with our partners of 55 years. I think I might need reading glasses, Mark. This is bad. The Kansas City Chiefs says both of our great franchises continually work to lift up our region and its growth. We have a new KCI airport terminal, an expanding streetcar line, and just hosted the NFL draft. All while the World Cup preparation continues and the KC Currents' new stadium are both well underway. We want to help drive that momentum." John Sherman adds in this letter as we wrap up page 1, "Many of you have expressed that you would like to hear more information on our new ballpark district vision. In the next 30 days," John Sherman writes, "we plan to share an overview of the ballpark district, including the broad benefits of the 2 sites under consideration, one in Jackson County, one in Clay County. We're putting both sites through an equally rigorous process. We look forward to unveiling detailed renderings and many other components that will help us compare the broad benefits of both sites. We will create a world-class ballpark that keeps pace with our peers nationwide, brings to Kansas Cityans a dynamic and energized ballpark experience, and is woven into the fabric of our region. Anchored by the new ballpark, the construction project alone is expected to generate over 20,000 jobs, $1.4 billion in labor income, and $2.8 billion in total economic output from construction and labor income during the 3+ years it will take to build it." John Sherman, Royals chairman, writes in this letter that just came down 2 minutes ago, "This project will be a huge economic boost for the region. It will spur meaningful development around the ballpark and adjacent neighborhoods, both in the short term and the long term. We anticipate that the inaugural year of the ballpark is expected to generate some $185 million more in regional economic output than the K does today. The Royals ownership group will commit well in excess of $1 billion in private investment to help create transformational growth here and across the region. Dramatically enhanced game day experiences and more visitors who will generate much more spending throughout our hometown. Sherman adds, we're committed to doing this right. This is a huge decision for us. We're focused on playing the long game for the region we call home. In late September, we plan to announce which site will best fulfill our pledge to Kansas City to create 1, powerful community impact, 2, generate sustainable economic activity in the county, city, and state, and 3, greater opportunity for the citizens of our region. John Sherman wraps up his letter, his novel, by writing, and finally, please know we're listening. We hear you. I look forward to the chance to keep talking with so many of you at the K, in the grocery store checkout line, at the gas station, or around town. While these can be dynamic conversations, one thing clearly breaks through: your passion for the Royals and the city we all love. Please keep coming up and extending your hand. It means a lot. I look forward to staying in touch and working together to achieve something special that changes the face of our region for the better. Very sincerely, John Sherman. All right, that's the letter that just dropped from John Sherman. What are the 3 big takeaways? Number 1, the guy pumps his own gas. That's impressive.
I was about to say that. You can see him at Quick Trip.
yeah, you can start going to every Quick Trip in town. Just look for John Sherman. He's pumping his own gas. I respect that. He's also apparently checking out his own groceries. Jeez.
Who does that anymore? You just buy them online, I thought.
Yeah, or if you're seriously. We know who runs that household. Hey, John, we need milk. Go get the milk, John.
I still like to go get milk myself, actually.
Well, that's because you got 2 little kids. It's a chance to get out of the house.
True.
I mean, that's the oldest trick in the book, Mark. Oh, honey, we need eggs. I'm on it. I'm out of here. Yeah, don't worry. Come on, Mark. Stop. We all know your tricks. We all know it. I use the same trick. But on the baseball front, here's what came out of this letter that just came down from John Sherman. They have a new website that they've launched. It's kcballparkdistrict.com. And in the next 30 days, they will plan an overview of the ballpark district, including the broad benefits of the final 2 sites. That's the East Village, and that's North KC. And then he adds here that by the end of September is when they plan to announce which of the 2 sites they will select. So this just coming down in a letter from John Sherman here in the last 10 minutes. They will have an answer by the end of September on where they want to continue playing either the East Village or North KC. And for those of you that are like, I love the K is great, I don't disagree with you. But that ship has sailed. So there's no point in having that conversation. They're gone. They're leaving the K. So now you say, what makes more sense, North KC or the East Village? And the line, I try to read between the lines, no pun intended, on these lines. And the line that I keep coming back to in this letter, and I'm just reading this off the cuff, I haven't seen this, it just came down, is when John Sherman writes here, this is a huge decision for us. We're focused on playing the long game for the region. The long game for the region. As I read between the lines on that line, I would be very happy by that line if I was Clay County in North Kansas City. If you were investing in a stock today, and you could buy stock in Jackson County and Kansas City, Missouri, as a business, as a multi-billion-dollar operation, or you could invest in North KC and Clay County for your multi-billion-dollar business. And you're just looking at the trajectory of Jackson County and KC-Mo versus Clay County and North KC. Which one are you buying stock in for the next 30, 40 years? It's a no-brainer, right? Just look at the last 5 years. Never mind the next 30. It's up north. And while I have no idea what John Sherman ultimately is going to do and the Royals are going to do, that line signals to me that North KC and Clay County have a lead in these sweepstakes. 913-408-7710. This breaking news letter from John Sherman just came down in the last few minutes. I'll put it up on Twitter. Mark will get it on the KCMO Talk Radio Facebook page. Just pop it on there, Mark. That way you can read it right now and share it as well.